that's better. You probably can hear me now. The music is too loud. All right, man. So you are tuned in to SE season. Lunch breaks, taking over your lunch break. Before you go back to your desk, giving you some topics that you can talk about with your coworkers. This is a new segment here for SE season here on a Thursday. So you guys let me know what you think, man. You know, we usually do the normal Tuesday night shows where we do a lot of interactive stuff and a lot of rankings. So you guys let me know what you think about this spot, man. So I'm just gonna chill out for a second, guys, and let some people come into the chat real quick before we get started with what we got going on. So give me 2 seconds here. All right, now what we got going on here. So while people are coming into the chat, let's go over to this other stage here. All right. And like I said, the show's called Lunch Breaks. And that's what we do. We're going to talk about what's going on in the SEC and give you some interesting topics to talk about during your lunch break when you go back to lunch. Uh, but the first order of business that I gotta know before we get started on this is if we get this pulled up for us in just a second. Boom. There it is. We got a live poll. So if you're in the chat, you go ahead and vote on the poll and see your results live as we always do here around SEC season. So what'd you have for lunch? Or what are you having for lunch right now? This is what I want to know. And you know, if you could jump, you could always just jump in the chat to vote for these. Uh, did you pack your own lunch today? You know, that's what I did. I ate lunch on my own, packed my own lunch. I had 2 ham sandwiches, some chips, and a bottle of water. That's what I had for lunch. So what did you have for lunch? That's what I'm interested in right now before we get started in this conversation while some people are getting in here. Let me know what you had for lunch. Put it in the chat. You see right there down at the bottom, you can vote for it. Did you pack your own? Did you order out? Or other? You know, I don't know what other could be, but all you got to do is type that in the chat, which one you did, pack your own, ordered out, or other, and then you can it'll actually be registered on the screen. Just interested to see what people are eating for lunch because this is lunch breaks. Like I said, I had 2 ham sandwiches, some chips, some mesquite barbecue chips. It was pretty good, and 2 bottles of water is what I'm working on right now for lunch. So you guys let me know what you had for lunch or what you're having for lunch. Interested in that because it's one of the most important meals of the day. So while you guys are clocking out for your lunch break, going into your break rooms, we just gonna give a couple people a couple seconds to get into here. And while you guys are coming in, you can check out the pin comment in the chat if you would like. A SEC season hoodie. Yep, they are available now. All you got to do is go to the pinned comment that's down there in the chat. Click that link and you can grab one of these. Now, like I said, the chain is sold separately, so it's not going to be a chain. You're not going to be able to get a chain in your package. You're gonna have to buy that separately. But the hoodies, they are available for purchase now. You guys asked, we delivered. All you got to do is go down to the pin comment in the chat and you can purchase one. They produced and sold by ISC Art Designs. Very, very high quality. The hoodie of champions. Also, while we got some more people coming in, if you didn't check it out on this channel, we did a Madden or ratings video where we went to the Senior Bowl and we asked some of your favorite players what they think their Madden ratings should be. And some of the answers are very, very, very funny. Some people were off base, some people were realistic. It's an amazing video, man. If you haven't seen it, go to the channel and check it out. It's probably like one of the latest ones that's been uploaded. Go check that out for sure. And then if you missed I'm sorry, Tuesday evening show, our live chat, of course, it's always interactive. Our live chat actually ranked the coaches in the SEC. Right. So that's what we did. We got together, live chat, ranked the coaches. We voted for each and every position as we do on SEC Season Live on Tuesday nights. And these are the results, right? So these are the results that they came up with, well, we came up with. It's very interesting. So you guys let me know what you think about that. Take a look at that. And let me know what you think about some of these coaches' positions on this list. Now, I would go ahead and go into it a little bit. Now, it's going to be in the SEC. You got probably the big 2, honestly. You got Kirby Smart. It's really Kirby Smart and everybody else. But you probably can put Kalen DeBoer up there because he's been to a national championship. I think Kiffin is a bit overhyped myself, but that's just me. Sarkisian too, I think is a bit overhyped, but then when you ranking all the rest of these coach, you gotta put him a little bit higher. Um, I'm I'm an Auburn fan. I don't understand why Alex Goldich made the list, but I get it. Uh, then you got Hypo, Clark Lee, I think deserves a little bit more respect. Mike Elko may deserve a little bit more respect. Those 2 programs are trending upwards, whereas some of the people above them aren't trending in the right direction, i.e. Texas. I mean, Texas is trending well when it comes to recruiting, but on the field, it seems like they're taking steps backwards. Venables probably deserves a little bit more respect. He hadn't been there long enough, probably to garner that. Drinkowitz is an underrated one that I think should probably be a little bit higher. I'm not sure. If this was my personal list, it would be different, but this was voted on by the chat, voted on by the fans. So you guys are the ones that chimed in and made this list possible. And then we go look over there on the hot seat. We got one young Ryan Silverfield, and I know some of you probably are wondering if this is your first time here. Some of you are probably wondering, like, why is Ryan Silverfield um, represented by the UAB Blazers on this chart? Well, because here on SECZN, when you lose to a FCS team, your logo gets replaced by that FCS team. And if you remember last year, Arkansas actually lost to Memphis. And then Memphis turned around and wet the bed against UAB. So this has come full circle because now we're in Ryan Silverfield, who started this whole logo switching trend, is now at the team that has his logo. So it looks like we were a bit prophetic in that when we came up with that. And some of these other ones, man, you got Summerall, still's got to prove it. A lot of people high on Summerall. Will Stein is one that's interesting because there's no expectations at Kentucky. Anything he puts forward as far as success at Kentucky is going to be looked at as progress. So you gotta pay attention to Will Stein. Plus, he's getting a little bit of talent down there. Pete Golden is another one that's on the hot seat that may shock some people. I think that there's a system in place. There's a way of doing things in Ole Miss that may have been established by another coach, but the players, it seems, are buying in. And if you look at recruiting, they were able to flip some targets that you wouldn't necessarily think of as going to Ole Miss. So they're doing their thing there. Jeff Lebby, Mississippi State, another program that's trending in the right direction, trending upwards, right? So they're going in the right direction. Maybe a little bit better season for them this year. They were in a lot of one-score games that they should have won. I expect them to win some of those games this year. So that's a team that you may want to look out for. And then you got Beamer down there who's on the hot seat. Now, I can confidently say that if they don't have a successful season this year with Lenore Sellers coming back, ah, I don't know, Shane. You may be looking for another job in another conference. I'm not sure. But you guys let me know what you think about this. Just drop it in the chat and let me know what you guys think about this list. And let's get this off the screen real quick so we can take a look at what else we have. Again, I'm asking, what do you guys have for lunch? So if you know how this show works, it's interactive. All you got to do is type in what you had for lunch. You can see the options that are down there. Well, maybe you can't see them. Let's make them a little bit more visible. Um, but all you got to do is type in other, or you packed your own lunch, or you ordered out. One of the 2, well, one of the 3 actually, and then when you type it in there, let me know what you had, you know what I'm saying? So we can kinda compare what we doing for lunch. Sometimes, some people have good lunches, some people just have, like, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a Capri Sun. Uh, I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys had. So I'm interested in that, because that's, kinda the name of the show. I'm gonna move this up a little bit so that you guys can see that. Alright. That should be a little bit better. All right, man. So, all right, we got Nick with us from Water Coolers Talk Sports. He's saying other is what he had for lunch. And then also, uh, he had chocolate chip muffins and a bottle of water. Okay, okay, okay. I can dig it. I can dig it. Uh, he comes back to correct it and says he had, uh, let's see. 2 chocolate chip muffins. So so you got Nick there. He's not just selling with 1 chocolate chip muffin. You gotta have 2. He's got 2 hands, so definitely gotta have 2 chocolate chip muffins in each hand to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and vote for mine too, since I'm here, man. I pack my own lunch, so I just if you're just joining us, you're getting to see how this kind of works. You just type in what you want to vote for on this list. What did you have for lunch? And I packed my own, so I'm gonna type in pack my own, and it should take a couple seconds to register, and you should see it up there on the screen eventually. But yeah, there it is. Pack my own. So I packed my own lunch again. Like I said, I had um 2 ham sandwiches, and a bag of chips, and 2 bottles of water. I'm actually still working on 1 bottle of the water right now. So yeah, you guys in the chat, all you gotta do, first of all, if you can't vote on this, it's because you're not subscribed, it's because you're not part of the Keyboard Collective. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel. That's all you gotta do. Subscribe, 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 and then you'll be able to vote on polls like this because we got more polls coming up in this episode. So there's gonna be more opportunities for you to have your voice your opinion and let your opinion be known. So this is just kind of the runway, kind of the warm up, letting some people matriculate into the chat, kind of letting people warm up their lunch. They probably got it in the microwave right now. They waiting in line in the office to come sit down at the table, so they are back at their desk so they can have their lunch. And when they get back, they'll tune in to SECZN lunch breaks, and they'll be able to tell you guys what they had for lunch today or what they're having for lunch currently. So go ahead, if you're in the chat, go ahead and type that. Let us know uh, what you had for lunch today. Before we get into our SEC football talk, I know that's what you guys came here for. Is SEC football talk. So with that being said, we've already went through. Hey, you can grab your hoodie by clicking the link in the chat. Also, there's 2 episodes of SE season, uh, 2 episodes on SE season that I want you guys to check out. I'll plug them again. That is the Madden ratings video. We went to the Senior Bowl. We asked players about their Madden ratings. The results are shocking. So go check that out. Some people had very lofty expectations, I'll say the least, and some people, not so much. So go ahead and check that video out. Uh, it's on the channel. Give it a like, share it, talk about it, chat. You know, you guys know what to do. And then also there's this available now, your SE season hoodie. So a lot of people asked about where they can purchase these. So we decided to make them available for purchase. You can grab one of these at the link that is posted down in the chat, in the pinned comments. All you got to do is click that link, takes you to a section where you can purchase a SE season hoodie and become one of the cool kids. Trust me, when people see you out in this thing, every time I wear it, somebody asks me, "Well, what is this? Who are you with?" Yeah, it makes me feel important. So definitely want to grab one of these again, produced and sold by IC Art Designs, which happens to be my wife. So shout out to her for making this come true for me. All right, man. So let's take a look here. So how y'all doing today, man, on a Thursday? How y'all doing? It is currently what, 10:47 on a Thursday in September. Months driving going by super duper fast. Um SEC football, we're talking season right now, right? That's what this is informally called, talking season, is where we get to talk about what we think teams are going to do, what we think teams should be, or where it's all about what we think during this time of the year. So let me get this off the screen so you guys can see me because I know you guys want to see me. All right. So yeah, Brian, this time of the year is always about what you think, because there's no football being played. Haven't gotten into spring football just yet. All right, that's starting soon. So the month of March and April will be filled with videos of receivers making highlight catches and throws on air. It'll be filled with a lot of outstanding plays against nobody, and there'll be overreactions as we always do. And we'll name players to be dynamic, and we'll say that this player is going to tear the SEC up, and this quarterback is going to light the SEC up. But it's really not the case of how it actually works out. But I love talking season. I love talking season because during talking season, you get to go into places that you don't get to go during the season, right? So you have to. It kind of forces you to look up some historical numbers and facts. This is when you come up on trends and you notice trends in teams. When you find out production that you didn't necessarily see during the season, the things that don't show up on the field but show up on paper. This is the season when those things come true, come to life. So that's why I love talking season. I hate it from the standpoint of we don't get to watch any college football, but this also, football, especially here in the SEC, in the South, football is all year long sport. It just is. Um, so that's why I'm not too down on the talking season part of the SEC season. So yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of the season. Even though, like I said, there's no football, but how are you guys feeling when it comes to this time of year? What's on your mind, man, before we actually hit the brakes on this thing and get into what we're getting into? Just 'cause like I said, trying to give people a little bit of time to get in the chat. I see we got a couple people that are watching. If you are watching and if you have not yet, go ahead down here and vote, man. Let me know. Did you pack your own lunch today? Did you order out? Or other, or other. And whichever one you pick or you vote for, you'll see it on the chat. You can kind of see the thumbnails of the people who've already voted. Yeah, just vote for that, and then let us know what you had for lunch today, man. Before we get into SEC, so before we get into the meat of this episode. And also, I want to know what you guys think about this time spot too. Is this a time spot that will work for you? Right? How many of you guys are actually on lunch right now? That's also what I want to know. I tried to schedule this so that it covers a couple time zones with the lunch period. So, how many of you guys out there are actually on lunch right now? And how many of you guys are sitting down for lunch and wearing your team sweater? And what team is that? Is it Alabama? Is it Auburn? Is it Arkansas? Is it Vandy? Could it be Kentucky? Uh, are you a Texas fan? What is your team? Put that in the chat as well. Put that in the chat. Tell me what your team is, and then tell me what you're having for lunch. If you're in Kentucky right now, what do Kentucky fans eat for lunch? I'm just curious about that. Do they eat the same things that we eat here in Alabama? I'm not sure. There's some of these other teams. Tennessee, what do y'all eat for lunch in Tennessee? What is it? I wish I had a Tennessee fan in here to tell me what they having for lunch, because that's yeah, that is interesting. One of the things I thought about too when it just brought to my mind thinking about Tennessee, is Tennessee the villain in the SEC? Are they like the number one villain in the SEC? And what makes a villain? The reason why I say that, because that topic is actually a further episode here on Tuesdays. We'll talk about villains and heroes, but um the reason I thought about that is because, like, I can't think of anybody outside of Tennessee fans that likes Tennessee. Like, you can find out of all these teams up here, you can so many teams, like, you can find a Florida fan that's like, I don't have no problems with Texas A&M. Or you can get people to say, I really don't have no problems with Georgia. There's even people that say, I don't have no problems with Alabama. Some people say it about Auburn. But I've yet to find a person who isn't a Tennessee fan that's like, you know what, I'm cool with Tennessee. It everybody outside Tennessee fans hates Tennessee, in my opinion. From my vantage point, seems like what it is, man. And if they're a villain, like, what better outfit for a villain than that orange that they wear? Straight the whole stadium in all orange. It's a villain activity to me. Well, all right, man. So I am just trying to give you guys just a little bit of time. Come on in here, man, and go ahead and so we can get started. Again, we just taking a poll real quick before we get started to see what you guys are having for lunch. Did you pack your own lunch? Is it other, or did you order out? All you got to do is type that in the chat. It'll register right here on the screen in real time. It's pretty cool how that works. So, uh, yeah, let us know which one you did, and let us know what you had for lunch. So we got Nick saying, says Lane Kiffin is the villain. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and ironically, he was at Tennessee, so it kind of fits his villain arc. I think he embraces that too, man, being a villain. But we'll see. We'll see how that works out for him in this season that's coming up. Because I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be as successful as a lot of people proclaim it's going to be. So we'll see how that time works for one Lane Kiffin uh, at LSU. I tell you what, if he does win at LSU, he is going to be a super villain when it comes to SEC football. Man, he's going to be almost insufferable. So I don't necessarily want that to happen. So yeah, it's just interesting. So what are some other teams you guys think are villains when it comes to SEC? Who would be the number one villain in the SEC from a team standpoint? I said it was Tennessee because I don't think anybody outside of Tennessee fans like Tennessee. So I said it was Tennessee fans. So you guys let me know what you guys think is the number one villain in the SEC. Right? So, all right. So before we getting ready to get started into the next segment that we have here, um, we already got our polls up for you guys to tell us whether you are eating out, you order out for your lunch, whether you packed your own lunch or other. Maybe somebody brought you lunch. I don't know. Or maybe you skipped lunch today. Like, how many people out there are skipping lunch? Let us know. Let us know in the chat. I'm trying to keep you guys healthy, motivated, and energetic. So it's my duty to make sure you guys are eating a great lunch. So um, here on lunch break. So let me know. Let me know what you guys are eating for lunch today. Or is it even lunchtime where you at? Right? It might not even be lunchtime. You could be watching us from, I don't know, Zimbabwe. It may not be lunchtime. Could be it could be wrong about that. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm just trying to get some of my stuff here in a row before we get into this next segment. All right. All right, so now that we are here, so we got Dwight in the building saying those words that we can't say around here. At least I can't. Dwight, man, hey, go ahead and vote, man. Let me know what you had for lunch, bro. Did you pack your own lunch? You see it's down there where you can vote. Did you pack your own lunch? Did you order out, or is it other? Or in whichever one you pick, let me know what you're having for lunch, or have you had lunch yet? Um, let me know before we. So got a couple minutes before we get into the segment of the thumbnail, the title show. Um, and what we're gonna be talking about in this is whether teams do fans fall in love with versions of teams that don't exist anymore. Um, that's the topic that we're gonna be discussing. We're gonna be breaking down here, and we got live polls in that too, so you'll be able to vote on that. Again, this is a lunch break show, and it's about topics that when you leave here, I want you to go and ask somebody else. I want you to go off of your lunch break, go back to work, wherever you at with your coworkers and around them. I want this conversation to stick with you, and then you go and have this same conversation with other people. And if they enjoy it, hey, invite them to the channel. Invite them to subscribe to the channel so they can be in on board this. Let's see. Dwight says he had fruit. Okay, okay. Hey, fruit is always a good option for lunch. It's light, it's healthy. Did you have a variety of fruit? This is like, you go to Publix and get the little cut up fruit. I do that sometimes, but they charge a lot of money to cut up fruit. You know what I mean? Like, man, like it is expensive for them to break out that knife. So, um, but yeah, fruit is always a great option for lunch. Actually, fruit is a great option for any meal. But fruit only is definitely a good option when it comes to lunch. Yeah, he's saying, yeah, he had an assortment of fruit, man. Dwight, man, you sound pretty healthy, bro. Like just from these three texts right here. Sounds like you care about what you put in your body, man. That's always a good thing. Uh, so Yeah, man, you guys can still vote on this. We're about to go ahead to the topic at hand, but you can still vote on this if you want to. Did you pack your own lunch? Did you order out or other? Um, you can always vote on that in the chat just by typing in the chat what it is, and it'll be registered right here on the screen. Dwight coming back and said he had apples, banana, and watermelon. Ah, man. Yeah, that sounds good. Where'd you get watermelon from this time of year? And was it good watermelon? Watermelon is one of those seasonal fruits that like you if you buy it in the wintertime, may not be it may not be it's not the same as a summer watermelon. Uh, but I will say Publix free pub for them does a great job of keeping fresh fruit in there. So if you're looking for some wintertime watermelon, uh, Publix is a good spot to get that. So, all right, man, we're gonna get into what we're getting into. Um, and let's see here. So I've been thinking about this. Go ahead and get into it. Hold on a second. Let's pause this for a second. All right. So I've been thinking about this, man, and I might be wrong, right? I might be wrong. You guys can hop in the chat and tell me if I'm wrong. But let's see. I don't. Hold on. Hold on one second. Um, I apologize. My little okay. Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry, I got a message, but yeah, I've been thinking about this for a minute, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong about this, right? Um, but I've been thinking about something that doesn't really show up in the box scores, and I kind of alluded to it earlier. Um, and it's that like you got some teams that are on a downward decline in the SEC. I'm not gonna point them out, but you guys know which teams are not what they used to be. Um, and some teams are looked at as bad, but I don't think teams are necessarily bad or broken in a sense. I think a lot of times teams are trapped by a version of themselves that all the fans and the media and everybody fell in love with. Shout out to my guy Coach Sean. He says this all the time. And Coach Sean, if you're watching, you'll know that you do say this all the time. But he says this all the time. He says he's an Alabama fan, so he talks about Alabama a lot. But he says that Alabama fans, and these are his words, are um they constantly compare themselves to themselves. They're not comparing themselves to other teams. They're comparing themselves to a version of themselves that essentially doesn't exist no more. So when you have been as great as they've been, you tend to fans I know tend to expect things a certain way. Um, so you think about it, when a team becomes successful for doing one thing really well, right? So, like, if you become successful running the ball, uh, that then it stops being like a strategy, so to speak, and it starts to become the identity of what this team is. So everybody expects this type of football from you because this is the type of football that made you successful in the past. So, and that's to be honest with you, we're talking about football, but it applies to life too. It applies to everything. It's like when you become successful doing one thing, everybody kind of expects you to do that one thing, right? They don't see evolving or growth in your future because to them they're looking like, well, you've gotten this far doing what you've done. Why on earth would you change it to what I mean? Like, why would you do that? Um, like I said, this applies to more than just football. It applies to life as well. But once that happens, once that happens, especially in football, when you could try to change up and you evolve your strategy, to the fans, it feels like betrayal, right? The amount of times, like you can't find a fan base right now that's satisfied with how much they run the football, right? I've talked to a lot of fans and every one of them have the same two complaints. We're not good on third down, and I wish we would just run the football more. And a lot of that comes from a time period of football. A lot of these fans that say that were fans of teams of college football or SEC football during the era where running the football and things like that became like it was the norm, right? So this is what you're used to seeing. The teams that win ran the football very well, and it's still some truth to that because you saw Indiana run the football all the way to a national championship. Um, but the fans themselves, I don't think fans honestly, I don't think fans won't win, so to speak. Right? It's kind of hard to see that. Like I think fans actually would prefer familiarity. Um, and sometimes coaches, I think they feel pressure to honor the past instead of evolving. I have a quote that I say a lot of times is tradition is just peer pressure from dead people. Um, in this game of football, specifically in the SEC, with some of the teams on the bottom coming to the top, you're going to have to evolve. Evolution is vital to the success of a football team. But because a lot of times teams are so successful doing one thing, they don't they don't necessarily want to evolve, from a fan standpoint, from a donor standpoint. If you're donating money to a football team, large sums, millions of dollars, if you are a big booster for Auburn, so to speak. So you're a booster for Auburn, and you were here in 2004 when Auburn had a dynamic running game and won every game that they played in, and you were donating money back then. If you're still donating money now, you're looking at that as that season as like, hey, this is what made us successful at every stop. You know, running the football in 2004 for Auburn, in 2010 for Auburn running the football, in 2013 for Auburn running the football. So if you're a donor now and you were giving money during that time when they were successful, you're looking at this Auburn team now and saying, "Hey, I want you guys to run the football. All that other stuff is cute, but we need you to run the football." So like that's what I'm saying. Like I think teams get kind of trapped in that whole pressure to honor the past. So teams they don't change when they should. They tweak, they delay, they explain this away. And it's not because they can't evolve. Like evolution is available for everybody. So like these teams can evolve, right? You can look at a prime example. You got Alabama, who's a traditional running team, uh, and to say that they can't evolve into a solid passing team is just not true because they've done it for the last 2 years. It's not the success and the level of success that they would want to see from their football team, but this is not the same football team of old. And a lot of the fans, to the point of this, and Coach Sean point, shout out to him again, are comparing Alabama now to a version of themselves that just doesn't exist anymore. It's just not here. Uh, but albeit successful still, right? 11-4 this year. I think they went, if I'm not sure, 11-4. A lot of the listen to me, a lot of the fan base, and a lot of them may push back on this. You know, I don't know. This is just research I've done from talking to people. But a lot of the fan base would be a lot happier at 11-4, same record, if they made that record by turning around and handing the football off. And y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm 100% right on this. The problem with Alabama football right now, and I'm just because we're talking about them, a problem with them, I'm using them as an example because they're like the perfect example for this topic. The problem with Alabama football now is it doesn't look the way the fans and the boosters and the way that people essentially know it to be successful, right? That time is gone, so they're upset at that. When in an 11-win season, it's nothing to just shake your head at. There's teams out here would die to win 11 games. So that's why I say, like, if this 11 games came by turning around and handing the football off, a lot of the a lot of the narrative would be different um, around that. So let's see here. And tell me, do you guys think it's uncomfortable? That's the conversation I'm trying to have. Um, I think a lot of teams think they're performing. Uh, well, I think that a lot of teams are just performing inside of the box, personally, and but I don't think that they're being allowed to lead by the fan base and things like that. And once you notice this, and like I said, this doesn't just apply to football; it applies to everything. But once you notice this, you start seeing it everywhere. Where there's one version of you, or one version of a team, or one version of something that has traditionally been successful, or it's traditionally been likable, or whatever. And then when that thing tries to evolve into something else, it becomes a problem for the people who saw that success as successful. So, oh, now I'll go ahead and open it up to the chat. Yeah, that's my little spiel on it. You guys let me know. But like I said, once you start seeing what I'm talking about, you start seeing it everywhere, in football and life and everywhere, right? Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and put up another live poll during this while we're having this. We're gonna have a couple polls that you guys can vote on. Uh, real quick. Let's see here. Um, so let's put this up, and we're gonna go to the next one. That was what did you guys have for lunch? Just to get us started. We're gonna go over to the next one. All right. So this is for you, and you guys can tell me. You know the topic. I gave my spiel on it. So now I need answers from you guys. What hurts more? Is it losing games or losing your identity? Losing games or losing your identity? What hurts more for you? Would you rather, yeah, and be truthful about it. Of course, I know that everybody would want to win every single game, but be truthful about it. What hurts more to you? Losing games or losing your identity? I'm gonna go ahead and vote. I'm gonna put in the chat losing games so I can get my vote registered on here. Losing games hurts more to me, and it's probably because we hadn't won very many games at Auburn. So I'm gonna put losing games. You guys let me know what you have in the chat. Let's see. I got a couple more of these. I want to just take a look at some of these chats while we sitting here. Is Nick saying, "Hey, you gotta try that yellow watermelon, man." Yeah, you do, man. You get the right one, super sweet. It's great, man. Dwight saying Publix. Nah, no Publix. It's not the same, but it will do. Okay, okay. You gotta give me the inside of where you getting your fruit from, man, so I can see if I can find it here. Let's see. You got Anti Insider. Oh, he's saying he's here. And oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, man, and you can come up. Um, give me see. I think the rise of 7-on-7 leagues changed the style of football now. That is very, 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 very true. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Um, it just is, man. It's what you see when you see football now. You see 7-on-7, with essentially with 11 players. So yeah, that's a hell of a comment there. We may actually expound on that on a later episode, man. I like that. Uh, and a lot of people saying losing games, man, losing games. Yeah. So the most important thing you guys are saying losing games, right? Or is it anybody out there that thinks that losing their identity? Losing your identity. So in other words, if your team goes 8-5, right? Uh, would you be more hurt about that 8-5 if they did it in a way that you weren't uh used to your team doing, right? So if you traditionally a running team and then they went 8-5 passing the ball, would that upset you more than if they went 8-5 running the football? Guys, let me know what you think about that. Let me go ahead and drop this link in the chat so Ant can come up, man. All right. So it's right now it's 100%, 100% uh losing games. Losing games. We got Nick saying not at all. Not at all, because it's still 8-5. It's still 8-5. Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, I get that. I get that. But the thing about it though is like we say that, but then when you hear fans talk about their teams, they don't a lot of times the record doesn't even matter to them, right? It's about how we got to that. right? I if you ask somebody about their team, a lot of times they don't even go to the record. They go to, "Oh, well, the team looks this way, or the team looks that way. Oh, we'll be okay. We just gotta run the ball more. We'll be okay. Just gotta be better on 3rd down. We'll" like, it's always a conversation about how the football is being played. Very rarely you ask somebody about their football team and they say, "Oh, we lost 3 games," and leave it at that, right? It's usually based in some sort of how we actually got to that point, uh, which is interesting to say the least. And like I said, this really isn't about football. It's about what happens when people fall in love with a version of you, um, and you are not allowed to outgrow that. Um, so that is essentially what we're talking about here. We got Ant says identity. I don't know if it's gonna register just identity. It may. You may have to type in losing identity. I didn't think you should have to type in all of that. Probably have to it should get what you're trying to say. But yeah, just wondering, man, like what hurts more for fans, losing these games or losing the identity of your program. So we got 100% of people saying losing games, right? Listen, I don't want to lose games. I don't care how we get there, as long as we get there, right? Listen, if we run in the wing T, I wouldn't care. Like, so it's what we got a lot of people saying that. So they're saying losing games. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next one here. Um, Move on to the next one here. First, let me catch Nick's comment real quick. He says, I think a season by season occurrence. If the personnel on your team says you're better running the ball and you go out and lose games because you're throwing it, it's a problem. And vice versa. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true. So I mean, you get that though. Like that's not what you said is actually not uncommon. You get a lot of teams who are having what I call the identity crisis, where you have a roster that's built for one thing, and then you're just kind of stuck on doing another. So yeah, it happens. I don't know why it happens, but it happens. But I think honestly, I said I don't know why it happens, but I think I just explained it. A lot of people involved in football programs are stuck on the past and a version of success um, that that has been accumulated through years and years of playing football. So um, there's that. We're gonna move on to question number whole question number 2. All right, let's get on to that one. All right, so this one is along the same lines of the topic that we're talking. This one is: do fans punish change more than failure? Now, what you think about this one? Think about your team, right? Think about what team. Are you an Alabama fan? Are you an Auburn fan? Are you a Georgia fan? Tennessee fan? You could be Texas fan. You could be a Vandy fan. You could be South Carolina fan. Think about your team and think about the season. And think about the fan base, the people you talk to. What do they punish the most when it comes to that team? Do they punish change or do they punish failure more than that? Or does it just depend? I think Nick kind of with his last comment I read, kind of says it depends. Um, and I'm for this one, I'm gonna speak from an Auburn standpoint because that's what I know. I talk to more Auburn fans than anybody. Um, I think it depends. I think it's a little bit of both. I'm gonna put depends on this one. So go ahead and vote. So again, you guys can vote in the chat and you can see it register live on whichever one you want to vote for. Mhm. And then we got Ant coming in. Ant, the insider. What's going on, man?
What's happening?
What's happening, man? You safe out there on the road? Man? You doing good,
Man, I'm in your city right now. I'm finna go back home.
man. Hey, man, be careful out there, man. Be careful out there, man. So
Nah,
you've
I
been
think,
you've been talking, you've been
uh,
tapping in on the conversation we having, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you think, man? I mean, we right now we saying that the question at hand now is: do fans punish change more than failure? I was actually finna speak from an Auburn perspective, but tell me what you think about
Go
that.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll tell you this, and I think because I'm an Auburn fan, I talk to Auburn fans more than most. I would say that it depends, right? In the current state of Auburn, when we're been a losing team for the last 5 years, I think fans just wanna win now. They don't care how we go about it. Uh, but at the same time, there is a part of me last season when last season was going on, um, there was a lot of, "We need to run the ball. We need to run the ball. We need to run the ball." And there's no knock. I love running the ball, but sometimes that wasn't the answer. So I think fans do, from an Auburn perspective, I think fans do fall in love with a version of success that doesn't exist no more. Auburn is not a hasn't been a just you know 1,500-yard rusher, 700-yard rusher team in a while, where we have two running backs that are just dominating when it comes to rushing. That hasn't happened for Auburn in a while. So I think a lot of fans fall in love with that. So I think that's why I say it depends. Let's see what we have. Nick saying fans punish failure, right? Hey, I agree with that. I agree with that. It says just don't fail at what you do. Okay, okay. So you're saying the fans don't necessarily care what you do as long as you do it well, right? And that's fair, and that's fair. Like, it's a fair assessment. Um, but again, like, yeah, you guys, let me know. Well, do you think fans punish change more than failure? Change more than failure. And here's the thing: I was here, and I'm an Auburn fan. Like I said, I was here for the Brian Harson experiment. Um, Fans punished that guy when he was 6-0. Because it was different. How he was going about things were different than what we were used to. Um, So that's why I said it depends. It's like I don't think there's a portion of fan bases that actually get into punishing punishing teams just for change. So that's why I said it depends. We got Wade checking in. Wade, what's going on, man? You on that road? Be safe out there, man. Wade, if you're just getting here, the conversation at hand is what happens when teams what happens when fans and media fall in love with teams for things that don't exist no more. For example, if you traditionally ran the football and then now you decided you want to go to a passing offense, um, do fans punish teams for that? Or do fans not do they don't care? Do they just care about winning? You can drop your thoughts in the chat way. And also, of course, we got live polls up. You can vote on whichever one you think it is. Is it yes, no, or does it just depend on it depend on anything. I say it depends because sometimes, you know, I do want to win, but then I've seen fans punish change only. So there's that. There's that. So so we got Ant back. Ant, what's going on, man? All right, man. So I've given him my thoughts, man. You tell me what you think about it. It looks like Ant. I don't know. I hear you though. Yeah. Oh no, it's all good. Do fans punish change more than failure? So if you you say yes, okay, okay. Tell me why. Okay. Mm. They're saying they can't hear you, Ant. Can y'all hear him now? Because I couldn't hear him at first, but I hear him loud and clear. Let me know. You can go ahead though, Ant, but I will see. Right. Right. Oh, it says they can't hear you, man. Hold on a second. Let me work on this. All right. I should be able to hear him now. I can hear him loud and clear. It says offline. I don't know what that's about. Okay. Okay. Yeah. While it gets those technical difficulties all ironed out, we gonna so if you couldn't hear Ant, I can kind of paraphrase what he was saying. Uh, he said, waiting for him to come back in, but he basically was saying was from an Auburn perspective with this topic. He's saying that you can't punish. Right now, you have a fan base that's kind of punishing a completely new regime for what happened last year when it should be 0-0. So Alex Golish himself hasn't even had an opportunity at Auburn to put anything on the field just yet. So it looks like, yeah, all right, this is how we got him in. All right, yeah, I
Yes,
hear you. I was
yes.
kind of explaining what I was trying to explain what you were saying, but you can go ahead and explain it.
Okay, so basically what I was saying was you should not punish Golish for last year. Using Auburn as an example. Basically, you have coach and a coach who didn't let his staff do their job, right?
Or-
You shouldn't expect a 5-7 season this year. You should expect maybe a 6-6, 7-5, 8-4, 9-3. You know, but you can't hold last year failures against him. Basically, is what I'm saying. Like how the offense moved, how the team played in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's a 0-0. It's 0-0 right now. We don't know how Auburn gonna look. We might look like 2004, far as
Could
we
be.
know.
Do you think they punish? Do you think they punishing him because he is different? He's going about it differently. Like if he was a traditional coach, I guess in the offense that he runs and things like that. Do you think that fans would be more receptive to him? I guess to that idea, or you think it's
I
just we got a new coach, we sucked last year, so you got to
I
prove it to
think
me.
it's a mixture of both because you still have some people that's on the old guard, meaning the Dabo Sweeneys of the world, or the Nick Saban if he was still coaching. Like you have to see now that it's different now. You have to adapt. So how Goal is going about it is the way that he knows. That's what worked for him at South Florida.
Right,
Maybe that's what worked for Hyper when he was at Central Florida, and Golders picked up on that. As we seen this year, that's what worked for C Daddy,
right.
production over potential, which in the NIL world that you have now, I mean, I feel like that's probably the best way to go.
Mhm. Yeah, hey, listen, I don't necessarily disagree with that at all. Let's see what we got Wade saying. You can't punish a new coach for what the old coach did. That's like punishing your new girlfriend for the ex-girlfriend cheating on you. That's very true, man. But like I don't know. I guess the question I'm asking though with that situation is if he was a I form turn around and hand the ball off I formation 12 personnel type of coach, uh do you think that people would be more receptive to him? Or do you think
no,
like I don't I think that Alex Golish, I think and that's specifically talking about him, I think that the offense that he runs has some people a bit uneasy because it takes a specific type of player and he end up letting some players go that fans had got attached to.
I
So
think I'm gonna say this, Ted. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna piggyback off what you just said. I feel like they're only uneasy because this is something new. I
Mm,
mean, we've had RPO system, we've had I formations, we've had single back, we've had shotgun spread, all that. But we've never had nobody run veer and shoot at Auburn.
right,
We've never had wide choice. We've never had a team who, even though yeah, we might be known for running the ball, but you've never had a team where pace equals pace equals yardage, meaning you might have a choice route this play, they get 15 yards and they run to the line and run zone right behind it.
right. You're
I mean,
still in
that's
yard.
something, yeah, stealing yards. That's something we're not used to. I mean, we had it probably in 13 with Gus, maybe 13 to 17 at the longest. But after that, we ain't seen that happen in forever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right about that. You're right about that. So we're gonna put up the next poll question real quick. We got Coach Carr checking in saying, "Yep, what's going on, Coach? Man, hey, we got some live polls up. The topic today, Coach, you just get here is, uh, do fans or the media or anybody fall in love with versions of teams that don't exist no more?" And ironically, Coach Carl, the first example I used was Alabama because you guys traditionally had success doing playing football a certain way. And now that you guys are doing it a different way, there's some pushback from the fan base. So like and we know this to be true in life. Like you can become successful doing one thing so well that you only end up being known for that one thing, and people don't want to see you change, right? And like if you guys haven't picked up on the theme of this show, I'm going to relate. It's called lunch breaks, but we're going to be relating these to things that happen on your job, right? So yeah, you guys, I don't know if you've ever experienced this on a job before, but like, have you ever been at a job where you are so good at one thing that it's a detriment for a company to actually promote you or move you from that one spot because you do this one thing so well, so you can't even evolve and grow into something else. And I think that happens a lot in the football, specifically in the SEC. And the reason why I use the Alabama as an example, why they're the perfect example, is because, like I said, my guy Coach Son always says people compare Alabama to a version of themselves that doesn't exist anymore. They had a ton of success playing football a certain way, unprecedented amount of success, the most successful team in college football history, you would say. And now they're doing it a different way. They've gotten away from that brand of football into something else. And I can tell you that a lot of the fans don't like it. Right? So that's my question here when it comes to just in general. Um, that's a general thesis of what we're talking about here. Let's take a look. We got Sharp coming in cursing again. Can't say that. But shout out to you, Sharp, man. Yeah, and having conversations with Sharp and Coach Carl and Coach Sean, this is why like this topic is kind of on my brain now. Because we've actually discussed this a bit before. Um, you got the rooster checking in. What's going on, man? What's going on?
What
You on
up,
that lunch break,
Huggy?
man? Hey, the rule is when you come in, you got to tell us what you had for lunch, man. So, uh, I've already divulged that I had 2 ham sandwiches, some barbecue, some mesquite barbecue potato chips, and 2 bottles of water, one of which I'm still drinking. So, yeah, you got to tell us what you had for lunch if you're new to if you just now coming in. All right,
Yeah,
let's see.
I think I think I'm going to walk-ons. That might be
Yeah,
my lunch for
oh,
the day.
you're doing it big for lunch. You doing
That ain't big.
Hey, it's better than the 2 ham sandwiches I just had.
I mean, being on the road though, you gotta think about it, Ted. I'm tired of looking at McDonald's and Subway, and man, I can't speak for every truck driver, but I will say
Right.
this to every truck driver: if it's a food place, 10 out of 10, a truck got to go there. We just gotta figure out how to get it in there.
Oh, man. Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. You're right that got Huggy saying what's happening. Huggy said he had let's see what he got. Beef jerky and cheese mix. Okay, okay. Hey, I like beef jerky. So shout out to you for that, man. And then we
Teriyaki.
got Sharp saying he had fingernails, unfortunately. Hey
Mm,
man, you gotta fix that, man. At least did you have a bottle of water with it? You gotta don't just
some
don't
Kool-Aid
just
or something.
yeah, don't eat dry
Orange
fingernails,
juice.
bro. That's not gonna be good for you.
No, it's not gonna help.
Wade said lunch. I'm a truck driver. I don't know what lunch is.
We already know. We already know.
Hey man, you gotta pack it. Oh, he said Chex
Uh,
Mix, not cheese mix. Chex Mix. Okay. Beef jerky and Chex Mix is a hell of a combination,
in,
Lincoln. Yeah.
interesting.
Interesting. He said, of course, it was teriyaki. Okay. All right. So we got our last poll question coming up here, man. Before we get up out of here, you guys got to go back to work. So let's go ahead and get that put up on the screen here. We'll talk about that just for a second. All right. And of course, if you know kind of with the overarching theme of what we going on here in the episode, the question I asked now, what keeps teams stuck longer? Right? So what keeps teams stuck longer? And when I say stuck, I mean like a team that's stuck is usually not bottom of the barrel, but like usually middle of the conference and they never move. I'm not sure. Whatever you define as stuck, but what keeps teams stuck longer? You can vote for the fear of losing fans. You can vote for the fear of losing relevance, or you can vote for the fear of evolving. Right. So you let me know which one do you think keeps teams stuck longer? Um, I think honestly, what keeps teams stuck longer is the fear of evolving. It's either fear of evolving or fear of losing relevance. One of the two. I honestly don't think fans. I don't think teams care much about losing fans because they know like fandom is kind of ingrained in people, right? It's like I'm gonna be an Auburn fan. It don't matter what they do. Well, I take that back. They can.
Mm-hmm.
It's some things that they can do. They can,
Uh-uh.
outside of football, they can uh definitely make me not root for them. But on the football field, like it's not much that they can do to you know to take that away. And I think a lot of people feel the same way about their team. So I don't know if the fear of losing fans actually moves the needle. What you think, Ed, man? What do you think is the reason why teams stay stuck, specifically SEC teams?
I agree with you. It's gonna be. I think it's a mixture of both. The fear of relevancy and the fear of evolving. Because is Georgia and Auburn. Georgia had Mark Richt. Yeah, Georgia was an 8, 9, 10 win team. But after that, what did they do with Rick? They didn't win no titles. They didn't win no national championship or nothing. And Auburn with Gus let Gus overstay his welcome. I mean, even though like, again he was Mark Rick, he gonna get you 8, 9, 10 wins. But after 13, he didn't. He never went back to a national title. So I think it's the part. I think it's where you see your team is winning. Your team is, like you said, it's middle of the pack, but we're winning. We're
Right, right,
generating revenue. And the fans are, like you say, the fans gonna be fans regardless. They
right,
still
right.
gonna show up. We still gonna cheer for them. We still gonna buy merchandise. So why would I change? I mean, 8, 9 wins. You had people still hollering about Gus should have still been here.
That's I mean that's true. That's true. So we got some answers coming in. Wade said, it's the fear of evolving. Uh, and then we got the fear of evolving coming from Sharp. Yeah, when I hear the fear of evolving, first person I think of is Dabo Swinney.
Yeah,
It's the first team I think of
yeah.
first. person I think of is he doesn't want to, he's getting better now, but he doesn't want to adapt to the times, and I think it cost their team um here in the last couple of years. So uh, we got Huggy saying the fear of using losing relevance. And that's where I fail with this too. That's why I'm like fear of losing relevance. I think that teams care more about the perception of what their team is and how much people are talking about said team um, than anything else. I just believe that. He said even on lunch, Ant's reception is sketchy as a mug at this joint. I
Hey,
mean,
watch yourself, Huggy. Now I'm up here in your city, so blame your city for my reception, sir.
oh
And
man.
my bad, Tez. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, that's all good. We got Nick saying is the fear of losing relevance. I really that's why I fall on this. And then you got Huggy saying it's rightfully a combination of the second and third choice. They know the fans gonna stay loyal. That's where I'm kind of at too. Yeah, I think the fans are gonna stay loyal at all times, just because that's just what fans do. Uh, I kind of think it's a mixture of the second and third one. I'm kind of leaning more towards the second one with the fear of losing relevance. And like I said, I gotta speak from the perspective of my team. I'm an Auburn fan, so uh, I've seen our team do a lot of things to stay relevant.
Hmm.
Auburn is I want you to think about it. Auburn is one of the most relevant losing programs in the country. In
And
every
that's the
single
crazy,
viewership,
and that's a crazy comment to make too, though.
but every single viewership list, when you look at viewership, when you look at any list you can compile of best this, best that, best whatever. Auburn is in the top 10, and they're usually the only losing team in the top 10. And I'm not lying about that. You guys can go on Twitter or
Mm-mm.
go on social media and check it out for yourself. You'll see viewership numbers this season. Auburn's gonna be in the top 10, right? And they'll be the only 5-win team in the top 10. The rest of them are gonna be playoff teams. Right. So personally, from an Auburn standpoint, I think for the last 5 years, that has been the case. I think we've been stuck out of fear of losing relevancy. We don't you heard it firsthand during the transfer portal. You heard how fans were just like, oh, I don't want to lose this player, this, that, and that. And everybody cared about who was on the roster. We bringing in a bunch of FCS players, and like we heard all this criticism. All of that is the fear of losing relevancy, right? Having a Cam Coleman and a Perry Thompson on the outside makes you relevant, right? Without winning games. Hey, as long as
Yeah.
Cam Coleman is on the field for your football team, you are a relevant football team without even winning games. Because people will tune in to see talent, right? And that sticks longer than actually winning because there's no way Auburn should be in the top 10 of all these lists with 5 straight losing seasons. It just shouldn't exist. But in the world that we live in, that is a little bit more important than actually winning games to me. And that also goes on to evolving, man. What do you think about that, Ant?
I can't argue nothing that you said so far, Tez. If you look at when they did the viewership ratings this year, Auburn was in the top five.
Mhm.
We're the only losing program for the past 5 years that's been in the top five. Like, we're relevant, but we're not relevant at the same time, if that makes sense. Meaning, to the nation, we're still a relevant team. Auburn's maybe out of the top 10 big, out of the top 15 winning programs, Auburn's probably always going to be the underdog in most of those, in most situations.
I can see that.
But to the fans, we're not relevant because we haven't had a winning season in 5 years.
Mm, yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's not relevant in the terms of the playoff conversation. Shit.
Right.
But in terms of teams that people tune in to watch, you can say what you want, but people care about Auburn football. Even if you just
Mm-hmm.
watch so you can slander, you care about Auburn football. In that, I wish that people didn't. You know, as a fan, I wish that, and the reason why I pick relevance is because I wish that people didn't. I wish that we were a losing team that was not on everybody's radar. I wish we were a losing team that was not on the top viewership list. I wish that we were that, because then we would be able to. It would be easier to build. You wouldn't get satisfied with just making these lists and everybody talking about you. You would actually want to win games to have everybody talk about you. It's like when you give kids a reward for something that they didn't do. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
well, you didn't do nothing to get this piece of candy, but I'm gonna reward you anyway for bad behavior. Like, you know what I mean? Or a better analogy is your kid starts crying and they won't stop crying, and then you give them candy, right? Instead of trying to figure out what is exactly wrong with the child, why are they
You just
crying? They could have
you
some
just want
internal
them to
issues.
hush.
You just want them to be quiet, so you just gonna give them a
Mm-hmm.
lollipop. That is what I feel like happens to a lot of teams, and to my team in Auburn, I feel like that happened to us for about, I'd say two. I'd say definitely the last 2 years. Coaching staff gave us lollipops, and we ain't care nothing about winning games for real, for real. We had Cam Coleman, we had Deuce Knight, we had Malcolm Simmons, we had so
I I will
yeah,
say this. I will say this is as far as being on relevant stage, right? Hugh Freeze got us back to being relevant. Hear me out when I say this, y'all. Hugh Freeze had two top 10 recruiting classes.
for sure.
Hugh Freeze came and snuck and stole probably two of the biggest recruits that Auburn didn't have a chance on. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Kedra was probably gone. Kedra was gone to Florida State. He was there. He might not have liked it, but he was at Florida State
Mm,
until Hugh came and had about two, three conversations and changed his mind. Gave him he basically gave him an outlook. He gave him the plan, even though the plan didn't work, and that's why you're seeing a lot of players that had to be overpaid.
right.
He still gave them a plan. So with the reputation that Hugh had of putting receivers or the land shark defensive team that he had, at least three players went to the NFL. I mean, he put Auburn back in relevant conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that mattered to a lot of people. He just didn't win
Hmm.
games, right? And
Right.
in this sport, you got to win football games, man. That's kind of how it works. All right, guys. So you guys go ahead. I'll leave this poll up so you guys can vote for this one if you like. Still, the fear of losing fans, uh, fear of losing relevance, fear of evolving. Huggy said, "Did his vote not count?" I'm not sure, Huggy. Let me see which one you voted for. Let me go back up here. Oh, okay, I see your vote. You said losing relevance. Um, yeah, I think Huggy. I think it's because you used I don't know what I would call your language. We gotta get a name for Huggy's language. Um, but you gotta spell losing right. And then it'll register up there. So yeah, if you're in the chat, man, if you know Huggy, what do we call the language? Because Huggy has a specific
I
way of typing that's authentic to him. We
don't
gotta
know.
figure out a name for this. uh
I don't know. E40 got his own language, so I
right, right.
mean,
That's what it reminded me of too.
I guess we,
E40 is just like
I guess we can call it rooster macking or something. I don't know.
Rooster Mackin. I like that. That's what we gonna call we're gonna call Huggy's language from now on is rooster macking is what he's doing. All right, man. So, we better get ready to get up out of here, man, so you guys can clock back in. Before we do, I'm gonna go ahead and put our first poll back up, just because, so you guys can know. Uh, it's in case we got some people that are just now joining us, man. We uh we started this off by asking you guys what was for lunch. Did you pack your own lunch? Did you order out or other? You can always put that in the chat. This is a SECZN lunch break, and that's what we do around here. And we're gonna be doing more of these. Um, we got some more people voting. Let me see if that registered. We got King Richard saying the fear of fear of losing relevance. Yeah, his voted. So it looks like the fear of losing relevance is number one. I know Huggy voted, but it doesn't seem to be registering he is just yet. But yeah, Huggy, I got to program it to recognize rooster macking. so so it'll be easy on you. But yeah, we got, a couple people registering that they had other for lunch, man. So that's kind of the premise of what we're gonna be doing around here. Uh, and before we get up out of here, before we get to the actual outro, I gotta make sure if you are just joining us, unfortunately, we're about to get up out of here. But as always, you can subscribe. Looks like Ant got kicked out, but you can subscribe, man, to join. And oh, here he is. You can subscribe now to join, become part of the Keyboard Collective. That way, you'll be able to vote and register like all of these good people have done on this episode. The Keyboard Collective, of course, is always taking membership. Not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. That way you can become part of the Keyboard Collective and you can have your voice heard when we vote in these live polls on pretty much every show that we do here on SECs. And that's kind of what we do. Also, there is a link in the chat. If you go to that pin link, you can pick up your SE season hoodie, become part of the cool kids. The gold chains are sold separately, so don't expect that. Um, but yeah, grab one of these hoodies, man. Like I said, every time I wear it, somebody asks me about it, makes me feel really important. These are produced and sold by ICR Designs, which happens to be my wife. So go show her some love. And grab your SECs and hoodie today. We got new colors coming soon too. So if you guys are waiting on that, it'll be those will be available very soon. Also, if you go check out the channel, man, we did a video where we asked players what they think their Madden 27 rankings when we were at the Senior Bowl. Had a lot of fun doing that. We got some very, very good answers. We got some lofty expectations. We got some people that were realistic, and we learned some stuff about players. We learned some fun facts about players. So make sure you go to the channel, check out that video. It's really, really fun. And lastly, Tuesday night, we did coaching rankings, right? So our live chat voted for coaches in the SEC, and these are the rankings that we came up with.
Gola should be
You
higher.
he said Gola should be high. I don't think Gola should make the list, but maybe that's a different conversation.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if you could put him up there. He hadn't coached the game yet. Like,
He has a resume though.
I mean,
You
he
know
has a
what? Yeah,
resume,
yeah, yeah.
but
We gonna say that. We gonna say that. We gonna
he
say that.
hasn't coached a game yet in the SEC, so I don't think that's fair. But yeah, you guys check out that episode too. You can check that one out on the channel, uh, and you can go in the chat and then let me know if the chat got it right, or the chat got it wrong. And listen, you can't be overly critical if you didn't vote, right? It's the way it works on here. It's the way it should work in America. You can't complain about stuff if you didn't vote for it. And so, I hate when people do that in the country and they complain about everything that's going on in politics and policies and stuff, but you refuse your right to vote. So you also refuse your right to complain. So go ahead and check this out. Let us know what you think and tune in Tuesday for something different. I'm not sure where we're gonna go with the direction, but it'll be interactive. We may put the list together. It should be pretty cool. So go check out that episode too. So I got homework for you guys. Your homework is, if you haven't, check out those 2 episodes of SE season and go ahead and start plotting up on your SE season hoodie. All right. So we got a couple more comments here. It says, don't forget that I'm a winner of an SEC. Yeah. So guys, Wade,
It cheated. It cheated. It
Wade is a
cheated. It
winner
cheated.
of an SEC hoodie. He won it during the contest that we had. You can do that too. So that's why you got to subscribe. And that way you'll be notified when we run contests and you can skip the whole purchase process and win you one. But you got to know your SEC facts in
It
order to
it
win
cheated
one.
for Wade, man. It
It's
cheated for Wade. Wade might have beat me by one or two, and at least three of my answers ain't go through. So yeah,
so
I feel like
Wade,
I feel
Wade, and
like
he said it was rigged.
it was yeah. I feel like it was a little rigged around here.
Yeah. And then we got Sharp coming in saying, "Damn, I wish I could be a part of the Cool Kids Club." LMA. Hey, I got you coming soon, man. I got you. I get you one, man. Uh, and then Huggy says, "Wade ain't gonna let none of us forget." Nah, he not, man. He not for sure, for sure. And Ant is calling out all the shenanigans for sure. That's what Ant does, man. Well, we about to get ready to get up out of here. Also, yeah, I almost forgot. I didn't get a graphic for it, but if you guys tuned in, if you were here for the beginning of the show and you watched the intro, you may have noticed that the second part of the intro is actually blank. That's there for a reason. Uh, Tuesday, I want you guys to make sure you're tuning in Tuesday to uh our SE season live show Tuesday night at 6:30. Tuesday night, we're going to be putting out a telephone number where you guys can submit 5-second hot takes about the season. Just 5 seconds, hot takes about the season, video, hot takes about the season, straight from your phone. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't even have to show your face. You can put on a mask if you want to. I don't really care. But you can submit 5-second hot takes. You can submit multiple ones, but each video has to be 5 seconds. I'm going to compile those, the best ones, and I'm going to insert those into the intro. uh, you have to go back. If you didn't see it, you have to go back and watch the intro to this. The second part of the intro, I'm going to insert those hot takes, and we'll rotate them on a weekly basis. So only the best hot takes will make the intros. And I may actually use that intro for the Tuesday night show too. So I'm just telling you guys what the plan is. So make sure you're here Tuesdays when I announce it officially to everybody with graphics and all that, and we start actually putting that together. So I'm gonna ask all my friends that I pod with to start this off for me so we can have a good number of them starting off. So that means Huggy and Sharp and Ant and Nick and everybody that I'm on here with, man. Uh, I'm gonna be asking y'all for some hot takes so I can so we can rotate them throughout the intro. And you can say anything. You don't have to, if you want to call out people or call out coaches or players or teams or whatever, you can say whatever you want. Man. I'm not
Okay.
people, man. You just can't curse, right? Don't get me kicked off of YouTube. But
Mm.
I there what
Huggy.
it says that was funny. Uh, Before we get out of here, it says we got Shar saying way better, Ant better be subscribers too. Yeah, I think for sure they subscribe.
Man, I'm a subscriber, man. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't, bro.
And it says, so we got to get our cell phone service game up. It said for
Hey,
you to send a
Wade,
video, man.
watch out now, Wade. Watch out now. Watch out
Oh
now.
man, that's funny. That's funny, man.
I bet you I have a video up Tuesday.
It should be hilarious, man. It should be a lot of fun doing this. But hey, wait, I tell you what, you get extra points if you submit a video wearing the SEC season hoodie. How about that? You automatically make the intro if you got on the SEC season hoodie and you submit your video. So there's an added incentive to either grab one and try to win
Oh
one.
Lord, he finna make that later on today. I think Wade. I know he close. I think he close to home too. Oh yeah, he finna
Uh,
make that today.
Already, man. It's all good, man. So we about to go ahead and get out of here. Same old outro, man. And
Yes,
know where
sir.
to find you, my guy.
Man, y'all know I'm on these highways and byways, man. I'm gonna be on SECZN and water cooler talk, man. You know, I'm here. I'm here.
For sure, man. For sure, man. And make sure you always tap in with Ant is that Ant the insider. He's never wrong, man. He's never wrong. Like in the words of Kanye, it may not be right. It's not that he's not right. He's just not right now. So you gotta give it time sometimes, man. It all comes true, man. But I appreciate you guys for joining me for this, man. As always in the chat, I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Ant, for tapping in, man.
Yes,
Appreciate that.
sir.
You guys let me know in the chat, man, what you think about the show. What you think about the show format. What you think about the show time slot. Listen, I am making this channel. As you know, this channel is for the people. So whatever you guys say, I will try to make it happen. So let me know what you guys think about this time slot, this show, this format. I got some more topics for this coming up. And got some more content coming out. Tune in. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you go ahead and hit that notification bell too. That way you'll be notified when we drop this stuff, so you can be here on time. But as we always say about this time, man, it's SEC season and breaks off. Go back to work. Time to clock back in. We out.